The Austrian Grand Prix is very close and is already here, with only three drivers keeping themselves in point positions this season. Only three drivers have won points, or like, should I say, only three drivers have been so consistent to be in points all through the races this season. The three drivers are Max Verstappen, the championship leader, Fernando Alonso, third in the championship, and Lewis Hamilton, fourth in the championship, and it has made it a very good racing season for us. My name is Oshifes Oluwadamilare. I'm a mechanic. Welcome to Exxon F1, also known as from Lawon, Kolom, Africa. To make it brief and easy, immediately after the first half of the season, the next half of the season will be bringing you lots of goodies, lots of prizes, lots of things to win. So for those of you that have not been consistent with our videos, please go back and watch everything, because questions might be coming up in which you need to answer. I need to win great prizes, so watch out for that, and I know you are gonna love it, because we are not going to disappoint you. We are going to bring you gifts that are really worth it, and you will love it all over the world. The next Grand Prix is going to Austria. That is the home race for Red Bull. Now, for you to know, each teams have their home races and each drivers have their home races, but this is the home race for Red Bull team themselves. And let me give you a recap. Last year it was not a so good race for Red Bull at home, although they were good in the sprint race, because there was a sprint race last year. And yeah, sprint race is coming back this weekend. It's coming back next weekend also in Silverstone, UK. Damn. So now, during the sprint race, Red Bull had it good. Max Verstappen won the sprint race. Lewis Hamilton was able to drag himself into the point and got the last point in the sprint race last season after the lap 20 overtaking of Mick Schumacher. Now his teammate, but their reserve driver, Nick Schumacher, took about close to 10 laps out of Hamilton. As had a very good car. The Mercedes was struggling all through last year. They were so bouncy, they were everywhere. They were struggling, really they were struggling. The As were a little bit faster, but I don't know how those guys were able to keep their cars to be in points, and they were able to come third at the end of the season. Kudos to Mercedes for that. But during the qualifiers last season, Hamilton trunk his car into a bashing robust last year in Q3, and his teammate also did the same thing. So Hamilton qualified 10th. His teammate was only able to qualify 7th for the sprint race. During the race, they both were able to come out with good points, with Hamilton coming third in the race, George Russell coming fourth in the race, Charles Leclerc winning the race in Red Bull home race in Spielberg Arena, Austria, while Max Verstappen, that won the sprint, came second. But what really happened? Carlos Sainz suffered engine loss. His engine started smoking igbo while he was running third, and it was just about overtaking Max Verstappen when his engine started smoking igbo and just went out. But really, it's what happened last year. Red Bull had a dominant car last year, but they were not dominant on all tracks. The Ferrari had a better car, they had a better engine, but their Ferrari curse. The Ferrari curse had been on them for a long time, so the Ferrari curse was telling on them. They were just doing like anything they wanted to do. Like, they lost a lot of chances last season, but still they won the Spielberg Arena race GP last year, which was great for them. But they could have done more, because after that race, Max Verstappen was about 30 points ahead of Charles Leclerc. The sprint format this weekend is different. Last year it was just FP1 qualifying, that would be for Friday. On Saturday, FP2 sprint race, then on Sunday main race. But now we've only had one sprint race this season. That was in Baku, Azerbaijan. So I told you the format then, but I'll try and reprise the format again. So the format now is different. FP1 qualifying for sprint race on Friday. Then you go to qualifying for main race on Sunday. That will be the first thing to happen on Saturday morning. Then Saturday afternoon, sprint race. Then on Sunday, you go to the main G. It's crazy, right? Yes, it's crazy. There'll be two qualifyings. Unlike last year, in which when you qualify, your qualifying will be the way you line up for the sprint race. Then the way you end up in the sprint race will be the way you line up for the main race. But it's totally different now. You qualify for sprint race differently. You qualify for main race differently, which makes it more exciting. So there'll be only one practice, one 1 hour practice. Just come practice, go back. So do all your setup. It makes, to me, it's going to make it more interesting, because you're having two qualifyings, so there will be no room for tweakings and everything. So it's only teams with more intelligence and that have due diligence and that are ready that will come up, set up their car the right way, go into qualifying and go into race. Unlike FP1, FP2, FP3, the teams have the advantage of getting their car in the right setup for them to win, especially big teams. But now we can have mixed grids. A lot of things can happen. Some teams can make a mistake and they get their engine blown up. Pum! And if you watch what happened in Baku when Max Verstappen, the championship leader, could not just get himself together trying to fight with George Russell's car, Mercedes, that is problematic, that does not have a straight line speed. When he knows he has the advantage, I think he would have learned. He's a great champion, he would have learned, and he would do well this time. But I think coming into Austria, it's a good track for Mercedes to really do well, to thrive. Last year, Mercedes, even in Austria, they were not so far away from the Red Bull and the Ferrari. And this time with the Ferrari upgrade pushing them, giving them great opportunity, with Aston Martin's upgrade that has catapulted them some few distance away from Mercedes and Ferrari. And with Mercedes also going to do some tweaks and bring some little things till next race, in which they are bringing bigger upgrades, in which we've made a video about that. If it's not out yet, we'll post it this week. Certainly, you know, like I said, they are going to bring some upgrades that are going to work well for them, that are going to push them toward winning races. A more revised side pods engine cover that will give them more downwashing to keep the car more to the ground, and also they will be tweaking their floor. The rear suspension, they are going to rework the rear suspension to make it complement the front suspension, so that they can have more cooling at the rear, and also they can have more movement and less drag at the rear. Then I think they are going to do some little things with the way the air flow around the car, then especially the rear section of the car. So let's see what they bring. But it's Austria, we already know what is coming up. There'll be teams bringing up some tweaks. Then the Williams are coming fully with their two cars in the same upgrade. It's going to be great. In the last race in Canada, the Williams had the second fast straight line speed on the grid. That was behind the Red Bull, which makes it difficult for some other teams to be able to pass them. Even with DRS on them, found difficult to pass the Williams, which is a great thing for Williams team in Canada. But let's see what happens. We know it's going to be a very good race. It's going to be 4 teams in contention, and after the race, we'll be able to know what will happen. But majorly, in most times, especially in the high rake, low rake seasons in F1, in which the Red Bull has always had an opportunity in Austria, because apart from it being their home race, they're able to manage the altitude, because Austria has a very high altitude as regards other part of Europe, and they can cope with the heat, because there you go, the more hot it is, so they can cope with the heat. So we hope that their package this season, after what happened last year, they would have learned their package this season should be able to cope with the same stress of heat on the higher altitude, and they'll have better cooling for them to keep their dominance in Austria, because they've only really lost like 2 Austria races in the last 8 years. They've been dominant in Austria. So let's see what happens. Equity owner of the Welsh club in the United Kingdom, Wrexham AFC, that is the movie maker, the producer, Ryan Reynolds, and his friend Mark Heleny, and their consortium has bought 24% stakes in Alpine, which is worth $200 million, which means Alpine is now worth a whooping $900 million. Whoosh! That is good for Alpine team. With all this investment, I think it's a drive for them to get closer and closer to the top team by 2026, in which that is their aim. So they're in the right direction. And for most of you that don't know, Wrexham was bought for $2 million, I think. Now it is worth 300%. That is a great job. Remember a year ago when Mark Heleny and Reynolds said they were at Wrexham to watch their game? It was a disaster for them watching the game. But now, 300% in their stakes, that is mass. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to Alpine. Please keep subscribing, keep liking. We love you, as I've always said. And as I'm saying, there'll be trivial questions coming in very soon, and you're going to love it. And please stay tuned. Share the video. We love you. Bye. Ciao. If you're a builder, if you're an art collector, if you have a showroom, Rated is the best place to get the artworks you need for your new buildings, for your art collections, for your showroom, for your exhibition. Rated Art have one of the best murals, mosaic works, and different art patterns in Nigeria presently. And it's somebody that you can communicate with, talks to you, you tell him what you want, and he will bring the reality out for you. To contact Rated Art, his number is right up here, and you can also go on social media links that are pasted right up here. So check out some of his works. Thank you. Teams Gadget. Teams Gadget is for those of you that cannot easily go to the market to get your phones, your laptops, your accessories. Just place a call through. His phone number is there. It gets you the best. It's your shop plug to get you the best phones, accessories, laptops, games, and other accessories for your computer gaming experience. Contact Teams Gadget and you get them for you.